Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
I'm William.
And we're here to scare ya, make you stupider, not smarter this week, I think, and have a little fun with it.
I don't know, even if our topics are dumb, they're still learning something, right?
Well, it depends on how dumb. Sometimes something is so dumb that I feel like it detracts from your smartness, because then you're going to be at a cocktail party and people are going to be talking about Tolstoy and you're going to be like, you know, there was an episode of Celebrity Ghost Stories where I believe it was Daniel Stern who said, and then everybody in the room is gonna be like, "Oh my god!"
Oh no!
So it's like ruining all your references. We're gonna be like diluting your smartness because we're giving you a bunch of stupid information.
Maybe that's true.
Yeah,
it's like the end of Billy Madison, where he goes like, "We're all stupider for having heard what you just said."
Yes.
Yeah, I believe we have, before we get into the topics for the night, sometimes we learn about things that aren't quite big enough to be full-on topics. And when that happens, Kristen, we initiate bite-sized monster madness.
That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
And I believe you have something that was kind of surprising.
Yes. Okay. So I had a certain way I thought this was going to go. I had a bite-sized monster madness, and I had my main event. As the day was progressing today on recording day, I was feeling an unease about my topics. I was thinking, man, my topic really sucks. I don't have any time to change it. Like, I guess I'm going to have to be self-deprecating about how this is so boring. How is that going to be fun for anybody? All right, you can't win them all, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about my bite-sized monster madness. I was like, now that's fun. I wish I wasn't leading with that. I wish I was ending with that. Hey. Yeah. So I switched the order.
Nice.
So the bite-sized monster madness for this week for me is about the Loch Ness Monster.
Boom.
Okay.
Unexpected. Because, like you really would think that the Loch Ness Monster would be worthy of a half hour of explanation, but no.
Quite boring.
Really?
So it is most often like pretty much everybody who has seen the Loch Ness Monster either says that it looks like this thing, or people later are like, no, that looks just like this thing from like a picture of the description. It's a seal, a piece of wood, an otter. Ripples play into the story of the Loch Ness Monster a lot.
Just ripples.
Well, like it'll be like a picture of the Loch Ness Monster, and then they analyze the picture, and the ripple pattern shows that it's either smaller than they thought it was, so it's somebody trying to pull off a hoax, or the ripples suggest that it's something that's being pulled by a boat. One person who saw the Loch Ness Monster said he either thought it was a piece of wood or an upturned boat churning and moving in the sea. Who could imagine such a thing at a lake?
Yeah, impossible. It has to be a gigantic dinosaur. There's no other option.
So dumb. So, the first instance of the Loch Ness Monster, at least written down, was in a book in the year 565.
Wow.
So, believers point to this as there being evidence of the huge, cryptid Loch Ness Monster having existed for like hundreds and tons and tons of years. Skeptics just say like, no, maybe things like this are just a common motif in things. So it was a book that was about Saint Columbo, I believe. And he goes to a town and they said that this guy was mauled by a water beast. So Saint Columbo.
Is that how he lost his eye? Who's the guy that played Columbo?
Peter Falk.
Peter Falk.
Yeah.
I'm St. Columbo, and I just gotta ask you a couple questions.
No, a water beast.
Eye eaten by a water beast. The origin story of Peter Falk.
Yes. So yeah, a water beast in the river Ness, which then later goes into Loch Ness. Loch means lake in Scotland, Scottish. So it mauled the guy and dragged him under, and then Saint Columbo sends like his lackey, doesn't even go himself, to like go in a boat to go pursue this thing. And the lackey sees the thing, and Columbo sees from the shore that something's going down. So he's like, I bless you and seal you from hurting this person or whatever. And the Loch Ness Monster leaves the guy unharmed, and they say that it was a great miracle performed that day.
Oh, wow.
The story's kind of fun.
Yeah, that's a very fun story until you realize that thing was a log.
Right. And maybe the person who was mauled and dragged into the river was murdered. And back in the day, they just said things like that because you couldn't check up on it.
Or they were going for a swim.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
So the famous picture of the Loch Ness Monster that you probably think of when you think of the Loch Ness Monster is known as the surgeon picture, which is weird because I guess he could be a surgeon. It was a gynecologist who took it. I don't know if they are just always surgeons, but maybe back then or something. And at first he didn't want his name attached to it. He just wanted it to be anonymous. And then he later decided that he was fine with that.
Yeah.
And it is much disputed.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, basically all
like the Cottingley fairies, people believe that the photograph is faked.
Yeah, except it's more boring. Like basically everything about the Loch Ness Monster, number one, is that like nothing cool is happening. This monster is just in the water. I mean, there are a couple of times where he went to land and people say that they saw him. But like, there's nothing sinister happening with the Loch Ness Monster, really.
Yeah, most people are just like, it's there.
Exactly. Right. And almost everything is like, I saw it, and then it being disproven. Even things I was like, ooh, this could get interesting. There was, in 2011, somebody did some sonar over the Loch Ness to see what was going on, and there was a huge object underneath the boat following it. Algae. Everything is boring.
Yeah. All right.
So that is the Loch Ness Monster.
That's really it.
That's it.
That's the Loch Ness Monster.
Really. I mean, there are other instances of people seeing it, something boring being disproven.
Right.
This person saw it, and it was disproven in a boring way.
Right. All right. Well,
so, yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Nessie, busted.
Yeah.
Here on Guide to the Unknown.
I mean, I'm sure, don't at me. Right. I'm sure some people love Nessie, but I was like snoozing when I was making these notes.
Yeah.
Wait till we get to my news story, guys. You're going to love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a little bit because I'm going to go first. And like you, I was having a difficult time coming up with a topic this week. Strangely enough, you are wearing Twin Peaks earrings.
Yep.
I very recently have been back on a Twin Peaks kick. And because that show is so sort of aggressively a weird kind of parody of soap operas.
Yeah. You're watching soap operas?
Why not look up a bunch of, moments of horror from soap operas and just kind of present them? And then I felt like that's a little bit like a listicle. Like on,
So what? If it's sweet, it's sweet.
I guess, but I looked it all up, and some stuff was cool. There was one
what
soap
was that?
opera where somebody faked someone's death, but what they really did was bury them alive in a coffin. I'm like, so they killed them that way. That's not really faking your death. That's killing someone. And it turns out that they had also piped in oxygen and like a speaker so that they could be like running around ruining this person's life, which is already ruined because people think she's dead.
Right.
And be telling her about everything that's now going on. Like, I'm dating your boyfriend
What
now.
soap opera was that?
I don't know. Look it up. And then because mostly I remember that there was a soap opera called Passions.
Thank you. I was just trying to look it up. Yes,
Yeah,
Passions with Timmy.
With Timmy?
Wasn't there like...
Who's Timmy?
I think there was like a little person who... acted as like a living doll or like something really
something
weird.
Like that. It was like a doll that came to life. Whatever.
Yeah.
But you with the Loch Ness Monster was me with these haunted soap operas because as I was reading them, I was like, oh, I don't care.
Yeah.
There's a pretty good one where it was a parody of Silence of the Lambs where somebody was keeping somebody alive in a hole in the ground. And it was like Debbie, with the help of Susie, kept Tiffany underground.
Yeah.
Later on, Debbie found out that Susie, who had been helping her, was actually her father wearing a wig. It was like,
soap operas are
that's
crazy.
Kind of awesome. Yeah.
They are crazy. I remember I watched soap opera. Well, I watched Days of Our Lives for a very short period of time when I was like a teenager or a little bit younger because grandma was into Days of Our Lives and I wanted to get on her level. And the plot of that was that there were twins, one hot twin, one ugly twin. And the hot twin was having the ugly twin carry her baby or something like that. And she was wearing a fake tummy.
Oh, okay.
So that she wouldn't have to, I don't know. It was really nuts. And the ugly twin was like, they went so overboard. She was wearing basically like those redneck teeth. And
really?
It was so nuts.
Like way too big.
Yeah.
But that's kind of awesome.
Yeah,
they have
it was
to do
amazing.
like an hour a day.
Yeah.
You do crazy stuff, I guess. You just
unbelievable.
Go down to Spencer's and get those redneck teeth.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like if I didn't work, I would absolutely be able to get sucked into a soap opera. I don't think I
would have the ability.
I bet I would.
Even reading about it for a half hour, I was like, I could never do this again. So anyway, here's the journey that I then went on because it's important to explain why I'm going to talk to you about what I'm going to talk to you about.
Tell me how we got here.
Okay. After that, I decided, let's go like sort of back to the basics in a weird way. I want to learn where nightmares come from.
Oh, okay.
We all experience them. What are they? Because I know there are a lot of like theories about where dreams come from, what they mean.
Yeah.
part of it is like about like evolution and survival. Everything is. So what's up with nightmares? And quickly I realized I was in over my head.
Okay.
But the etymology of the word nightmare comes from monster
Nittenmare.
folklore. Nittenmare. A mare, M-A-R-E, ain't just a horse.
Okay.
Kristen. It's also a little monster that attacks you in the night. A mare. So for people that are watching live, we record this every Tuesday night on Facebook.com/GTTUpod. You can watch the episodes early if you come join us in the live streams. Or if you're watching on YouTube, you can see this image, which I'm going to describe to you. I've used it before. A woman lying in bed. Yeah. I think I used it for the boogeyman or something.
Okay.
A woman lying in bed, seemingly asleep, possibly in despair, with a little monster sitting on her chest. This is a mare.
Wow, looks like a little monkey.
Yeah, kind of, a little bit. And so it's supposed to be, previously when I've seen this image, it's been about the idea of sleep paralysis, which is a real thing, that like you don't move when you're asleep. Your body locks down. That's why if you have a dream and you're running away from a monster, you're not running in bed.
Right.
But that's also why sometimes when you have that dream where you're running away from a monster and you're running real slow, almost as if you're running through quicksand, it's because your body is locked down. So
I've actually never had that.
No? Oh, it's horrible.
No.
It's the worst. So it's like this
maybe. I don't know.
discrepancy between you wanting to get away and being aware on some level of the fact that your legs aren't moving in real life. So anyway, then I was on to mare. But Wikipedia said that a mare is a type of goblin.
Okay.
So I start thinking maybe I should go way back. Let's figure out what goblins are before we start getting into subtypes of goblins. So I clicked onto the Wikipedia page for goblin.
Okay.
And it turns out that there are just like a million different types of goblins. I didn't do much research, but I got the gist that it's like kind of like gremlins, where there's just like a million different variations.
Right. They have different personalities.
And here we go. Time for my topic. Because the second I saw this, everything in my life changed directions. I saw that goblins are very similar to a type of monster known as a brownie. So here we are.
And so
my topic for the night is brownies.
I believe I came across brownies when I was researching gnomes. I don't know anything about them, but it rings a bell to me that I was like, brownies.
Well, buckle up, buckaroo, because tonight we're learning about brownies. Now, for people who are not watching any video version of this show, Kristen, can you do me a favor?
Oh, boy.
And describe the one image of a brownie I bothered to look up?
All right, so it's a little gnome-like person, and I say that because they have a little conical hat on. There is a round body and then a round head that is, I would say, only maybe 1/3 smaller in size than the body, with no neck. Long, spindly, nimbly legs, long feet, and normal skinny arms.
And he's kind of doing like a peace sign kind of thing. He looks very nice.
Yeah.
He looks very nice. He looks like...
quaint.
It's very weird. He looks like a Dr. Seuss character. He looks like a Who from Whoville wearing kind of a Santa cap.
Yeah.
And he has the face of Tommy Pickles' little brother Dill. So...
you're right. You're not wrong at all.
Just hold on to that. So...
hold on to that image in your mind.
Just hold on to that image in your mind. Now, here's what brownies are.
Okay.
Kristen.
Okay.
They are mythical Scottish household spirits.
Okay. Are they nice? Because household makes me think that they're like a house elf.
I know, and that's why like this. It seems everything seems to indicate that they're nice, and then periodically I found quotes from people where they're like these devils. I'm like, maybe devil had a different meaning.
Yeah,
it's just like it's a
like scamp?
an inhuman creature.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? I don't know, but so anyway, they're very popular in northern Scotland.
Wow, real Scottish jam.
Yeah, I know, for sure. Loch Ness and brownies.
Yeah.
It's quite a party.
You could put that Scottish jam on your brownies, maybe.
Now knowing what your topic is.
Get it?
Yeah, that's very good.
Thank
now
you.
knowing what your topic is, you know what the name of the show is going to be, right? So just for the record. Anyway. Thomas.
That is good.
Thomas Cately.
You guys will find out soon.
No idea who he is. I meant to go back and be like, who is he? Described them as a personage of small stature, wrinkled visage, covered with short curly brown hair, and wearing a brown mantle and hood.
Damn, that is brown. Brownie, brown. Yeah.
Here's what they do. They inhabit houses and help with tasks around the house.
Okay.
like getting rid of spiders.
I could use a brownie.
Like a cat.
Yeah. A disgusting cat.
Yeah. They do not like to be seen.
Okay.
Traditionally, they only work at night.
I gotta tell you, you're really selling me on brownies.
And they only work in exchange for small gifts of food. They especially enjoy honey,
chocolate, okay,
butter, cream, and
and
porridge.
Brownies and I have a lot in common.
Yeah, you and I might be brownies.
I gotta tell you, so far, all of this tracks for me.
They love porridge.
Porridge.
They will abandon the house, though, if these gifts are referred to as payments.
Oh, they must very not particular.
Be payments. They must be in exchange. They might also leave if the owners misuse them, like abuse them.
Yeah.
They'll be out.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So they live in the house, but where they actually like sleep, their quarters are usually in small unused parts of the house, like the attic or a hole in the wall.
A cupboard. So your house has like a million places for a brownie to live because you have a lot of weird little doors in here.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. My house seems to have been designed to be as efficient as possible. Anytime that there was
a brownie house, a brownie hut.
A void in the wall, they would have a door and like put little storage there. So
Will's like a door that's like 3 inches wide or something upstairs.
Good news for big fat old me. There are plenty of places to hide brownies. I found more brownies.
And porridge.
Yeah, and porridge.
And cream and honey. I mean, that sounds great. Wow, I could go for that. Porridge with cream and honey.
Every manor house had one. And in the kitchen, close by the fire, a seat was left unoccupied specifically for them.
Oh, wow.
So you can put their little feeties up and get warm by the fire. Sounds very sweet. Doesn't this all sound very sweet?
This all sounds nice.
Yeah. All right. We're getting to the point where one man called them like a double or something. Okay. Now, there was a particular house on the river Tay, which was believed to have been haunted by one, and a room in the house was for centuries called Brownie's Room.
Wow.
Don't go down by the river Tay. You might hear the sound of someone eating porridge in Brownie's Room. So here we go. In 1703, this is a long time ago.
Yeah.
John Brand, a minister of the Church of Scotland, wrote, this is a long quote, so bear with me.
Okay.
But it's worth it. Not about 40 or 50 years ago, every family had a brownie, or evil spirit, so-called.
Oh, so he doesn't like brownies.
He doesn't like brownies.
That's like how some people who are like very, very religious or kind of like evangelist people, it doesn't matter whether it's good or bad, they don't like some kind of otherworldly thing. True. It's unnatural.
Exactly.
Like there's only supposed to be one person who's otherworldly, and that's God.
Yeah. If you're going to contribute to a church bake sale, don't make brownies.
Yeah.
So these things served them, to which they gave a sacrifice for his service. As when they churned their milk, they took a part thereof, and sprinkled every corner of the house with it, for brownies' use.
They took a part of milk.
Well, when they churn it, so it becomes butter.
Oh, butter.
Right? So it's
even so.
Sprinkling butter in the corners. Just sounds like they're like, yeah, a brownie came by and ate it. It's just like their house is infested with mice.
My God.
Absolutely covered in mice. I don't know. Oh, they left little brown footprints. Likewise, when they brewed, making alcohol.
Oh, okay.
They had a stone, which they called brownie stain.
Brownie stain. Oh, God. Got a few of those.
I knew it. I was doing this research upstairs, and I said, if I can manage to say brownie stain without laughing, Kristen will be the one to make a poop joke, guaranteed.
Of course.
I couldn't believe this Wikipedia.
What do you take me for?
This Wikipedia article was like gold to me.
Brown gold?
Brownie stain.
Is that something called brown gold?
Something, yeah.
What the hell is it?
Oil? Black gold?
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of, yeah.
But so
brown gold.
Stain is S-T-A-N-E, which I think is probably like...
Okay, yeah.
They said they have a stone.
Yeah.
That's called brownie stain. I'm guessing stain is stone. I don't know.
Old time, 1703.
Definitely going to be dumber after this, you're right. Because I don't even know half the things I'm reading that I wrote.
Yeah.
I wrote this all down again.
I imagine it's a copy and paste, right?
I guess, yeah. So in the brownie stain, there was a little hole into which they poured some wort.
Okay.
Now, this I did look up. It's liquid from the process of brewing that I think is eventually going to turn into alcohol.
Okay.
For a sacrifice to brownie.
Even that's funny.
They also,
for a sacrifice to brownie.
They also had some corn, which they called brownie stacks.
brownie stacks.
Brownie stacks. This corn. I couldn't.
Why is that brownie stacks?
I know that this is the most juvenile joke to just be hammering, one after another, but I swear.
Look, William, we are who we are.
Like, I saw it.
They know that.
This is a show about folklore.
Yeah.
It belongs here. We need to be the ones to discover it.
Look, somebody has to tell these stories, and damn it, it'll be us.
Yeah, there's probably no more appropriate creature for us to talk about than the brownie. What with their brownie stains and brownie stacks. It's insane. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Brownie stacks.
And it's
but
corn.
Also, why?
Come
yeah, I was about to say,
on.
why is. Yeah, I know.
Come on. It's like they were writing poop jokes before they knew that they could possibly be poop jokes.
Yeah, these are just arcane poop jokes.
Yeah.
Why is corn a brownie thing? Like, why does that belong to the brownies?
I'm not sure. There was more to this. To be fair,
like,
this is
do
where...
they think that brownies planted corn?
No, this is where I maybe got a little creative. This might be hashtag fake news. Brownie folklore. Give me 1 second. It works. If you Google brownie folklore, you'll see this little picture, by the way. So I deliberately
What are the
What's going on?
You know when you go to Google and then it'll have like commonly asked questions, like a whole bunch of them in case it can help, so you can just click on that and get your answer automatically. It said, who made the first brownie?
Who made the first brownie? Who made the first brownie? What could possibly be the answer?
Who cares about that?
The first person.
Fanny Farmer, they're setting us up.
The first person to put a recipe for brownies in a cookbook was Fanny Farmer. What's going on?
What are they doing to us?
What is going on?
Oh, boy.
That recipe contained no chocolate. Farmer had basically made what we today call a blondie. What's going on? It's like she was Fanny, so she had to make a brownie. Like, she had no choice.
Yeah, basically. I mean, blondies are still brown. They're just like light brown.
This is insane.
They're like a sable.
What were the brownies originally called? Originally, they were called rosebuds. I've got a rosebud for you.
Boy, William.
Hey, it was there. So anyway, I ended that quote.
Oh my God.
I ended that quote because it just kind of kept going, but also it allowed me to say corn brownie stacks. So here's the full line. They also had some stacks of corn, which they called brownie stacks, which, though they were not bound with straw ropes or in any way fenced as other stacks used to be, yet the greatest storm of wind was not able to blow away straw from them.
People talked weird in 1703.
I don't know what this even means.
Yeah,
What's the focus of this sentence?
I don't know what these words are.
What's the point? So this is just telling you they had them. So this,
I guess.
This did not shed any more light than what I originally had.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, all you need to know is they had corn and it was called brownie stacks. All right, anyway. So here's where it's actually kind of like sweet, I think. And I mean like precious.
Nice. Yeah.
Brownies seldom spoke with humans, but they held frequent and affectionate conversations with one another.
Oh, it's nice.
They had general assemblies as well, usually held on a remote, rocky shore.
That's very cool. Like a town hall meeting of tiny little brownies on
exactly.
it. That's very cool.
Yeah. Has everyone had their porridge? Hooray! All right. They're very similar. We're coming to the end.
Okay.
By the way, they're very similar to another creature called a hob.
Okay.
Which typically work outside.
Brownies are indoor, hobs are outside.
That's what I've come to understand. If you give a hob a new set of clothing...
Is that like if you give a mouse a cookie?
No.
If you give a hob a clothing...
Thing. If you give a hob a new set of clothing, they'll leave forever.
Oh, so it's almost like in Harry Potter that the house elves, you give them a piece of clothing, they're out of there.
House elves from Harry Potter, these little helpers that are in many like old rich wizarding homes and they work in the kitchen at Hogwarts, are based on brownies.
Oh, that's cool.
And hobs.
Cool.
So I have this is from Wikipedia's page on brownies.
Yeah.
Dobby, which is the house elf that tried to save Harry Potter in the second book.
Oh, okay. They are referencing actual Dobby.
Well, Dobby is used both for the house elf in Harry Potter and as a name for brownies in Yorkshire.
Oh.
Which are also called...
That's cool. That makes sense.
Mr. Dobbs in Sussex.
Very respectful.
Which means you could be like, good evening, Mr. Dobbs.
Yeah.
Would
He's
you
like,
more,
good evening.
Would you like more honey and cream?
Yeah.
Shut up and give me my stain.
But what of the butter?
It's time for a brownie stain. It is the midnight hour.
Well, that's very nice.
Fetch me my brownie stack.
Who called them devilish?
That guy who said that like they're evil spirits.
Oh, okay.
You know, he said like most
I guess I
houses
just forgot.
had brownies
Yeah.
with evil spirits as their
Oh,
name.
okay. Yeah.
And that one house on the River Tay is said to be haunted by them. Like they sound nothing but pleasant and enjoyable.
They sound nice.
Yeah.
I guess they mean haunted as in just like they're there.
Yeah. Can you
Like,
imagine how hilarious
I
it would be to have
haunt
a
the
brownie?
local Rite Aid.
Yeah,
'cause I hang out there all the time.
Can you imagine how much you'd laugh if you had a brownie?
I would love to have a brownie.
Prepare the brownie stand.
I'd be hurt. Hey, any brownie stacks in there?
Not yet. Anyway, that is the brownie. You're both welcome, and I apologize for that one. I don't know what to tell you, but it does mean that in the future,
did we laugh a lot? I think so.
I'll work backwards from here. We've got brownies. We'll do goblins. We'll do mares. We'll do nightmares.
Great.
That will happen. I might need somebody to simplify the concept of a nightmare for me. I would like to know.
Yeah, sure.
But I was reading and I was like,
what do you want to know? Like what's happening in your brain that creates a nightmare?
yeah,
Or-
I mean, I guess I got pretty much everything I wanted. It's just not really enough for a topic.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just say it real quick.
Yeah.
So nightmares seem like they happen decreasingly over the course of your life. Kids have them a lot and they decrease over time by the time you
makes
get to
sense.
adults. And a major way to combat having nightmares is to actually very similar, another Harry Potter thing, the boggart of Harry Potter, where it presents to you your worst fear and then you think of a way to make it funny using the spell ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, for example, Neville Longbottom's afraid of Professor Snape. So when Professor Snape appears as a boggart all menacing, he envisions his grandmother's weird old clothes with a vulture on top of the hat. And then, bam, that's on Professor Snape. Everybody laughs.
Yeah.
Laughter is this sort of nightmare creature's worst, the way to
Nightmare.
attack it. Yeah, nightmare.
Uh-huh.
And you fix the problem. A lot of psychologists, according to what I read at least, say to consider what your recurring nightmare typically is and think of the way that you'd prefer for it to go correctly.
Oh, that makes sense.
So that,
yeah.
and if you repeat it to yourself almost as a mantra, and before you go to bed, like, oh, if I see this, here's how it has a positive outcome.
Yeah.
You are more likely to then have that sort of reflex to fix it in the dream.
Yeah.
I'll convert this boggart into something more toothless.
That's very cool.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and that makes sense.
Yeah. So that was pretty much, and other stuff where it's like nightmares happen more if you're really stressed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd like to know more, but I don't know if it's really for the show beyond that.
Yeah. Do you have any recurring nightmares now?
No, I don't remember my dreams at all anymore.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any recurring nightmares, but I do have nightmares sometimes.
I remember big nightmares from when I was a kid.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't really. Aside
That's
from
good.
like normal sort of stress dream, I haven't had this in a while, but like,
Yeah.
we moved a couple of times when we were younger.
Yeah.
I've had the dream that it's my first day at a new school and I show up and I'm like, I had my schedule printed out and now I don't know what room I'm supposed to go to or what time or anything. And I start panicking.
Yeah. I have nightmares of that variety too. Like, but same kind of deal. Like, this doesn't apply to my everyday life anymore, but I still have dreams that I'm working at the salon and I'm working on a bunch of different people and I'm late for all of them and I'm messing things up. That was a very regular dream when I was working in a salon.
That sounds about right.
And
That
still
job
comes
seemed
up.
like it was
Yes.
spinning plates a lot.
I think that that's the equivalent of other people having dreams about like, there's a test and I'm not prepared. Mine is like, oh my God, I left Terry Reynolds in the sink while I have Dina Luther over there. Oh my God, their highlights are processing for too long. Like I still have that dream.
You've been washing Terry Reynolds in the sink? Is she like when you give a baby a bath in the kitchen sink? Like,
she'll be fine.
Hey!
She likes splashing in there.
help me. I'll be right back, Miss Reynolds. Well, now that we know that brownies are helpful spirits, maybe this is a good way for all your nightmares. If you're afraid of having a nightmare, if you're stressed out about
That's
something.
a great idea.
Say, you know what? Brownie's going to come. They'll be helpful during your salon nightmare.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, how am I going to do all this?
Yeah.
I'll help you.
Yeah. One of the brownies can wash Terry Reynolds' hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a great idea for all of our listeners. Think
Problem
of brownies at night helping to bring you nice dreams.
Yeah. Newspaper headline.
Yeah.
Podcasters solve nightmares.
Yeah.
No more nightmares
They've been abolished.
ever again. Well, that's brownies. The end.
All right. So that's Brownies. This is Daniel Stern. Did you think I was joking before, guys? Because I wasn't. Tonight, I'm telling you the story of Daniel Stern's scary honeymoon.
I'm so excited. Kristen sent me a picture to prepare. And I was like, all right, just send me the picture, whatever, and I'll start making stuff now. We typically don't tell each other our things, but I was like, I'll make images.
Well, because I was going to, because it was for Mini Monster Madness is what this was supposed to be, and that would be fine to share beforehand. And I was like, yeah, here it is.
And she just sent me like a headshot of Daniel Stern looking, hilarious.
Yeah. And Will was like, is that really what you want to use? And I was like, yeah.
Looking like he's about to crack a real good one-liner.
Yeah. Okay, so what he did was crack a real good story on Celebrity Ghost Stories.
Awesome.
Season 2. I believe it was 2012. So I watched this episode not that long ago. My husband Ryan and I got a projector. And it's been great fun because then we bring the TV to whatever room we want to be in because you hook up the projector to the computer and it projects a big image onto the wall like a movie or something.
Oh, yeah.
So we had brought the projector into our room because I wanted to watch Celebrity Ghost Stories on YouTube while we lie in bed.
Yeah.
So I've since found that there are better sources than YouTube for them because when I watched this, like they did a thing to get away with, I guess, like, I don't know, searching and copyright laws and everything.
Yeah.
It would be a picture of, well, not a picture. It would be Celebrity Ghost Stories happening in like the bottom left third of the screen. And then just like, it looked like a weird computer background was the rest of the screen.
Yeah,
so that the image didn't take up the full screen.
They'll do that. Sometimes they'll speed up the footage by like 0.5 so it sounds a little faster, it's a little high pitched.
Yeah.
It would be fun to trick people into watching this show by being like City Slickers 2 HD.avi and upload that, and the intro of City Slickers happens, and then it's just us going, welcome to Guide to the Unknown.
And if it's this episode, they're getting at least a little bit of what they want, because it's about Daniel Stern.
Yeah, you get some Daniel Stern in there.
So then when I was researching to do this story, I Googled it rather than searching in YouTube, and it seems like on like Vimeo or whatever, there are episodes that look perfect and aren't in a third of the screen.
Why can't you find just the like proper, where did this show air?
It aired on, I think, the Biography channel or something. I think you had to pay for it on.
You have to have cable. All right, so you're actively just being like, so I did whatever I could to pirate.
Yeah.
Free version.
What'd you think I was? You thought I could watch it on TV, but I was using a YouTube version where there's a screensaver for most of the thing?
No, it just occurred to me. It's funny that like you're describing how you saw it, because the way you saw it is like not the proper legal channel.
No, I don't think that an episode of Celebrity Ghost Stories from 2012 is on demand right now.
Everything should be on demand. I don't understand why this should ever be a problem.
To tell you the truth, it might be on demand. It just might not be free on demand. You know how you can like go on demand and you could keep scrolling to like the show's old seasons and they're like expensive as hell for like one episode?
I still don't understand why you're describing all of this.
Okay. It was a long time ago that I watched this, okay? And stuck in the mind.
All right, so the what is it called? The statute of limitations is passed on watching Celebrity Ghost Stories?
I have no point as to why I'm saying this.
It just seems like you're condemning yourself or, damning yourself. I don't know why you would say this part.
Oh, I know why I would say, because I was thinking, what if people want to watch this? They can't. That's why I was saying it.
Okay.
My point was that don't go to the YouTube version, just Google it and find like whatever version pops up. That was my point.
All right, so now you're trying to help people also.
Yes, I did that with Paranormal Witness, didn't I? Yes, I did.
All right.
So I don't want to talk about a show that I loved and then nobody knows how to watch it.
It just occurs to me that the law dogs might be watching.
Well, hopefully if you're watching, you're a fan of the show and you'll like, let me coast, baby.
Yeah.
So Daniel Stern told this story that later seemed to have been disproven by the very people that he told it about.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Kind of. Well, I mean, basically. Okay, so this happened in 1980, and it was right after he got married. So he and his wife, Mrs. Stern, I don't know what her name is, decided to go to England for their honeymoon. And for the first half of their honeymoon, they stayed in a hotel and did normal touristy things. And then for the second half, they rented a car to drive through the English countryside and go to like cute little B&Bs and just explore, basically. And he said in the episode that, it was like this tiny little car, basically, if you can even call it a car. We had a bottle of scotch and some chocolates in the back, so that kept us going. What?
What?
Yeah. A bottle of scotch was keeping you going while you were driving through the English countryside? Uncool, Stern.
Why would he say that?
I know.
Well, it's a move out of your playbook to just announce your crimes on a show.
Maybe he meant as they stopped place. I don't know, but
Okay,
still,
that's very. Don't do that, and that's
No.
weird to say and do.
Yes, completely.
Yeah.
So they were going to the moors to explore. And he's like, and I know about the moors. You know, it's like foggy, mysterious. And what he said was that he knows about the moors from Sherlock Holmes movies.
No way.
I swear.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yep. So.
What the hell's going on?
So they're on their way to a B&B that they had booked.
This story, Kristen, is marvelous. Was he hairy?
I don't know. I'm not sure. So they're on the way to the B&B that they had booked, and they saw this really cute, charming little village. And they're like, you know, we're not in a big rush. Why don't we stop here for the afternoon? Maybe we could get a bite in the pub or whatever. So they stopped in this cute little town. And he said that that there was like a pub and a church in the center of the town square, but it wasn't like the other charming towns that they had stopped in. It gave him a cold, icky feeling. So he's okay. What?
I'm not. I'm
I thought
just
you were
really enjoying this. I gotta say, like, for as many Marv jokes or whatever, you're like, we're giggling about it being Daniel Stern a little bit.
Yeah.
It's funny. He was in so many movies that I enjoyed him in. I don't have any reason to laugh at this man.
No, me neither.
But I don't know. For some reason,
It's funny for some reason.
It's just maybe it's just like he's a funny guy as an
Yeah.
actor, so he's making me happy even right now. I don't know. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. No, I mean, when I was looking through episodes of Celebrity Ghost Stories to watch on YouTube, I saw Daniel Stern. I was like, oh, let's watch that one. I want to hear him tell me a scary story.
I like him.
I do too. Okay, so he said that there were about 30 or 40 people milling about in this small town. And he started to notice that they were all walking at about the same slowish pace. They weren't talking. Nobody was making eye contact with him or each other, and everybody was dressed in black. And said that they looked like extras from a movie. Like he said they looked like extras from Night of the Living Dead or something. Yeah. And he and his wife were just kind of like, huh. And excuse me. He said that there was a woman who was standing by herself in front of the church that was in town square. So they went up to her because they figured they wouldn't be interrupting her doing anything. She at least wasn't walking with the other people or whatever for them to ask her a question. And he said that she was wearing all black with a veil, like a long veil. And he needed to ask for directions to something. So they said, excuse me. And that when she turned around, it was like a horror movie. He said that. So this part, I was like, well, I mean, okay. So he said they turned around and she'd lost all the color in her eyes. It was just a milky wash, is what he said. Which could be like something wrong with this lady's eyes, maybe.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point.
Yeah. You know, like people have like...
Yeah, that's not fair.
When some people go blind, don't they? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that's called, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, I understand, I understand. It's creepy. I understand. But I was like, well, this could be like a blind woman or something. Right. Or, whatever that problem comes from.
I guess when you say she lost the color in her eyes, it makes it sound like she turned around and suddenly her eyes turned white.
Yeah, no. He was saying that she turned around and she had lost it.
Oh, she had already.
Yes.
Prior to any of this interaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. The way he's talking about it, I guess you guys want to look it up. The way he's talking about it in particular, so maybe I'm coming in with that. I was like, so she had something wrong with her eyes. He was like, she had lost all the color.
It is funny. Do you remember being a kid and like knowing just like there were weird people?
Oh, yeah.
And like you'd be like, that person's scary, they're weird. And then, kind of thankfully you grow up and you realize like,
right.
No, like people have like myriad issues that don't make them weird or creepy or scary.
No.
And it's just like we should have some like empathy for each other. Yeah. I kind of miss the vibe about being like, there's that creepy guy down the street.
I know, because now you think about the creepy guy and you're like, that guy had some problems.
It makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
But it's funny that Daniel Stern seemingly never.
Yeah, guys, check it out. I want to see what you think. At least that was my impression both times watching it. I remember being like, Daniel Stern, like, give this woman a break. So anyway, she turned around and it was like a horror movie because her eyes are not like our eyes or whatever. It's a milky wash. Those are his words. And he said that she started speaking in tongues. And he was like, no, I know what tongues sound like. I've seen them in movies or whatever. I don't know what. And so he said it was weird. And he said she looked and sounded possessed and it freaked them out. She was just like speaking in tongues. So they were like, okay, ma'am, thanks anyway. So they hightailed it back to their car. They were like, this is really weird and freaky. So they get in the car and almost not almost instantly, but not long after they get in the car, their tire blows out. And so it just blows out and they just have a flat tire randomly.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh man, like they just left the town that they were like really wanting to get away from. And now they have a flat tire. And like they could still see the church steeple from where they are with the car. And they're like, I want to go back to that town for help. Like it's freaky. So he said that he decided to just like drive on the flat tire, just like on the rim, basically all the way to the Airbnb, which is like not crazy far away, but it probably would have been good to stop somewhere and get your tire fixed. And he said that when he went in there and they were checking in everything, they were like, yeah, we stopped at this town. It was really weird. And they were like, oh, Whitcomb? That's a haunted town. No, we don't go there. That's a ghost town. It's full of ghosts. Because there had been a fire in the main church. There was a crazy lightning storm and the church caught on fire and burned everybody from within it.
Oh my God.
So the people that you're seeing walking around Whitcomb are actually the ghosts from that fire.
All of them.
So goes the story.
Yeah.
And so Daniel Stern is like, they're just all reliving this horrible incident in their lives. Like they're in some sort of purgatory. Yeah. And like we walked in there and he was like, I had never been into scary stories, but now that I have this, whenever somebody tells me a story, I have to think, I have a weird story of my own. Maybe theirs is true. But then
If that happened to you, by the way,
yeah,
you go somewhere and you're like, oh, I was just in Whitcomb or whatever. I was wandering through the Whitley Wood.
Yeah.
And they go like, the Whitley Wood? No, that's the ghost wood. If you saw any people in there were ghosts, would you be like, oh my God, those people I saw were ghosts? Would you be like, no, they were. You're mistaken.
I mean, if they were that weird, I don't think I would automatically be like, oh my God, that's why they're weird. But I'd be like, that's very strange because all those people were walking at the same pace, dressed in black, not talking, and now you're telling me it's a ghost town. What the hell's going on?
I'd go back to verify.
I'd
go
sure
back
I would.
to that town.
It wasn't that far away.
And I'd do Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I'd show everyone the ghosts. Or it would just be a footage of me. Here's the thing, but here's the damn thing about ghosts.
Yeah.
It'd be like, hey everyone, it's me, Will, live, like, subscribe. And then I'd be like, look at all these ghosts. Like I see, like, here's like that guy in like an old friar's hat or whatever, and I'd turn the camera and there'd be nothing there. And you wouldn't know if I'm lying.
Yeah.
Or if I'm seeing a ghost and it just doesn't show up on film.
Right. That's true.
Those damn ghosts.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They sometimes don't want to be seen, so then you can't prove their existence.
Those damn ghosts got me
They
again.
don't want to be seen by me or Michelle. Okay. Okay, so when I first watched the story, when Ryan and I are chilling in bed with the projector, illegally pirating celebrity ghost stories.
Hell yeah. Sailing the high seas of the Pirate Bay.
Hell yeah. That's right. Okay, so I was like, what? There's a ghost town that's all ghosts. I have to look this up for the show. And this was like, I don't know, a while ago. Yeah. So I Googled Whitcomb on the Moors, whatever it was called. I didn't find exactly what I had found that time. I found some sort of like, you know how there'll be websites that are like Reddit, but not Reddit. Just like weird message boards that you're like, who posts on this? I've never heard of this before.
Totally.
There's a thread about that with people being like, how dare he say that story isn't even true? I live in Whitcomb and it is a thriving, industrious town or whatever. And I was like,
we are a proud people.
Yeah. I was like, oh man. So then I did a little bit more research and I found the website of Whitcomb in the Moor, which is Whitcomb-in-the-more.com.
Awesome.
Whitcomb is spelled Widecombe.
Love it.
So there is a page on the Whitcomb website. First of all, the top of it says Whitcomb Ghost Town. And then it's like, is Whitcomb a ghost town? So this page has not been edited since 2014. I have my iPad with me here to read it because it didn't show up right on my phone. It was too wide. So it was like not...
Yeah, it's not formatted correctly. Yeah. So it's post Daniel Stern's ghost story.
Oh, this page is about Daniel Stern's ghost story.
Kristen, is there a chance that in the town of Whitcomb, there are photographs of Daniel Stern in every single building, and it just says, this man is not welcome.
This man is not our friend. Do not reject this man. Daniel Stern is no friend of Whitcomb in the Moor.
The local Hollywood Video doesn't even carry his movies. His like 5 movies.
So, the heading of this...
This man's not welcome.
The heading of this is Whitcomb a ghost town? There have been a number of reports from the United States that Whitcomb is haunted and or is a ghost town. These stories have originated from a TV program described by one correspondent as follows. So then one person had written to Whitcomb the town and talked about the story that Daniel Stern told. So on this website, it says version 1 of ghost story. Then it says another version with another thing. So at first, when I first glanced at this, I was like, oh my God, did Daniel Stern tell the same story to me on 2 different programs and change the story? Like, is that where we're going here? No, it's just the same. This website is very weird.
Okay.
It's just the same story.
Well, it's run by ghosts.
Yes. From another email.
Yeah.
It's like another version and it's the same story. And you're like, all right, okay, fine. So... And then they link to a clip of Daniel Stern's piece on YouTube. Perhaps that's more sanctioned. It seems like Whitcomb and the Morse thinks it's okay.
Or you're all going to get locked up in the slammer together. You and a bunch of ghosts from Whitcomb.
But I'll have cool stories.
That's true.
Okay. So then I can't read the full replies that the secretary of Whitcomb and the Moore wrote to these people, but I will tell you that it starts with, "Hello, America. I am replying to a series of emails that has been received here in Whitcomb from USA regarding a television program, spelled with the MME, that you have recently seen on your TV stations." And the capitalization is weird. "I write to you all in my capacity of secretary of our local history group. I shall reply to all the queries in one letter and send it to you all." So then I'm obviously not going to read these, but it says like Mark, blah, 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 blah. Like Winston, blah, 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 like writing back to each
by
person. Yeah. So it has some history of Whitcomb. And basically it says that the part that's cool is that they're saying that in the 15th century, superstitions were very rife. And basically everything good that happened was the work of the Lord, and everything bad that happened, or even everything that couldn't be totally understood, was the work of Satan or the devil.
Agreed.
And then this is how a legend grew. That the devil came to Whitcomb to claim the soul of a man who was playing cards in the back of the church. The devil tied his horse to one of the pinnacles, grasped the person, and in his haste to gallop away forgot to untie the horse. This pulled the pinnacle over, resulting in it crashing through the roof. As he galloped away across Dartmoor, the 4 aces fell out of the sleeve of the card player and landed on the ground and turned into 4 fields. They are visible today in the shape of a heart, diamond, spade, and club. And so these are fields in the area.
Awesome.
So I think she's saying that it's just like there's some superstitions tied to the area.
Yeah.
And also in the 14th century, which was even before they're talking about superstitions kind of rearing their heads in the 15th century, it's true. The church did have a fire, but only like 4 people died in it. And so just, there's a church fire, then things get super superstitious like a century later, and this thing starts to kind of grow basically. And also it says, on Dartmoor, there are many ghost stories, the hairy hands, black dogs, specters, all mixed up with the legends as I mentioned earlier. So saying like, there are all kinds of legends here and don't worry about it.
The hairy hands.
I know. Thank you for your interest in Whitcomb, and we would like to send you all season's greetings and all the best for 2011. That's the way this long thing ends, with referencing each person who wrote to them.
Awesome.
Yours sincerely, A.E. Beard, Honorable Secretary, Whitcomb History Group.
Wow.
So, William.
It's awesome. It's
right?
awesome. I want
It's
to
great.
know, I guess it doesn't look like he ever had a rebuttal.
I don't think so.
That's what I tried to look that up. It doesn't look like he ever responded to say that he was wrong or anything.
He just had to let it go. He had his own experience.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd think that for his ghost story, which is easily disprovable, he maybe would have been like, I believe the town was called this, and just have it be some fabricated thing.
Well,
that can
maybe
never
all
be.
this stuff happened.
There are people in this town.
Maybe the people in the next town who have a B&B are like, yeah, Whitcomb's haunted, either to like screw with tourists or maybe drive business to their B&B. That's a very cynical view of it. Maybe all this stuff. I mean, not that it was necessarily ghosts. Maybe this happened. Maybe he went and everybody was like really weird and slow that day. And then when he went to the B&B, that's what they told him. Like, I don't, because to tell you the truth, even though I'm reading this debunking, my point isn't that Daniel Stern has lied to us, actually,
you're right.
at all.
That's funny.
I don't feel that he's lied to us. I just feel that something went awry somewhere and that it ended up not being quite the ghost town full of haunted residents that he was told it was.
So that woman did just have some sort of a vision impairment.
Right. I don't know what you call that, but yeah.
And this story is more about a neighboring town pranking Whitcomb.
after he and his wife drunk drove all over the moors.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like Shelbyville to Springfield in The Simpsons, where they just have this long-standing rivalry.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I feel like the next town was called like Tanta or something
Tanta.
like that.
So when Whitcomb plays Tanta in footy or whatever, they're just like,
Footy.
I can't even see him. Can you, Bob? That's Canadian. I can see right through them. Can't you? Now they are just Canadian.
It's
Oh, it's like playing against a bunch of ghosts out here.
It's definitely Canadian.
Why can't I do British?
Well, it's also I don't know. I was about to say it's not British. I got mixed up because we were talking about Scotland before.
Yeah, I think originally I was
know.
going to try to do Scottish, and then I started to back off, and it came out Canadian.
I can't even think of how do you speak British now. I can't do it.
I can only think of the Dr. Evil voice. I was trying to do Austin Powers. It won't even come out.
What would they say in Harry
Perhaps
Potter?
the spirit is with me.
Oi, maybe that ghost town is not so good over there.
This is what is that?
I don't know.
Oi, maybe that ghost. That sounded Australian. Weirdly enough, the only Harry
can
Potter
stop that.
character I can think of is the Scottish one.
Seamus Finnegan.
Bit of a nasty shock for her when he found out. That's Seamus Finnegan. I can't think of any of the British characters. What's going on?
Dean Thomas. Well, he never talks.
Yeah.
Why am I only thinking of Corbin McLaggens or whatever?
There's an evil spirit with us. We've been visited.
Apparently.
That's very
clearing
strange.
out all the Harry Potter names.
Mr. Potter.
Oh.
There we go. Does that
Our
help?
new celebrity.
That's British.
Our new celebrity.
I
Okay.
can't even see who I'm playing football with. The soccer kind, Mr. Potter. Windercombe is filled with ghosts.
Way to come. Okay, we're done.
All right. That brings us to the end of another amazing episode.
Yeah.
Guide to the Unknown.
Totally.
Probably really, really the best.
Yeah, definitely.
If you haven't already, don't review us on iTunes this week.
Yeah, maybe no.
Skip this.
Maybe no.
Skip this one for the iTunes.
Maybe
reviews.
next week.
We'll try again next week. I'll
Yeah,
talk
yeah.
about
Maybe don't
goblins or
judge us.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But do.
Check out Celebrity Ghost Stories.
Yes, for sure.
And,
Home Alone 2.
yes. And City Slickers. And the narrative to the Wonder Years.
Yes.
And also, check us out on social media. We are at GTTU Pod everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And then you can also join our private Facebook group by searching Guide to the Unknown podcast in Facebook.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, everybody join the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Pretty much as soon as you request to join, we're going to hit approve.
Yeah.
I think the longest it ever took us was like 12 minutes or something like that. So you can get in there. We've also gotten a lot of awesome emails from people that listen to and or watch the show with their own horror stories.
Yep.
We are still planning to do a listener stories episode to come in the future.
Yes, for sure.
You can also go to patreon.com/GTTUpod or just look up Guide to the Unknown in the Patreon app.
Yeah, that would be great.
Please consider backing us. We've also gotten more backers.
I was saying, and thank you so much to our new backers. We really, really appreciate it. So thank you. So if you'd like to join their illustrious ranks, go to Patreon and do it. And you can just throw us a few bucks a month just to kind of say that you enjoy the show and you're glad that we put out a whole bunch of stuff for you to enjoy every month.
Yes.
Every week.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways that you can support us is by telling other people. If we made you laugh in this episode and you think that this might be somebody else's cup of porridge.
Yeah.
And they look like a real brownie to you.
Right. Like, so I'm in a whole bunch of like scary stuff Facebook groups and people are always asking for podcast recommendations for spooky stuff. If you like the show, throw this name out when people are asking for recommendations of podcasts to listen to because that would be great.
That would be awesome. Yeah. It's really huge to us when people help share Guide to the Unknown, spread the word a little bit. I also do want to say, this is really neither here nor there.
Sure.
But happy Cinco de Quattro to everybody out there watching. Cinco de Quattro, Kristen, that you ask, is of course the celebration the Bluths came up with on Arrested Development, which is the night before Cinco de Mayo.
Right, of course.
To celebrate Cinco de Quattro, Netflix is releasing, this has nothing to do with anything. I just learned this. They're releasing a remixed version of season 4 of Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Which famously, like a lot of people were frustrated by because it jumps backward, forward in time, and each episode focuses on a single family member. The creator of the show, Mitchell Hurwitz, went through and recut the entire season.
Yeah.
So that every family member is in every single episode and it all takes place chronologically.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
And it got me looking back a little bit today when it was announced because my buddy Bobby and I wrote an episode of Arrested Development when we were burgeoning young, aspiring writers, and I reposted it online.
Yes.
So
yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, you can follow Kristen and me online, and if you do, you'll see this post. I'm at Haunted Sponge. Really fun. It's been almost 10 years since I wrote it, which is very weird. Yeah. The cover page says December 2009.
Wow.
Is when I wrote that episode. And in the post for that episode, we did an audio radio play version of the show once for an old podcast we used to do called Studio Rejects. One of the earliest podcast appearances of Kristen.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, you play Lucille.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah. The audio quality is bad.
Yeah.
Some of the editing is bad.
Well.
Some of the performances are bad.
What are you going to do?
Some of the script is bad. But look, it's very fun.
Yeah.
So please go check that out at Haunted Sponge. And watch Arrested Development.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm really jonesing for it right now.
Cool. Yeah. All right, sweet.
And everybody can follow you as well.
Yep, I'm at Chillin' Kristen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So make sure you do that.
Yep.
And then come back and join us for another episode of Guide to the Unknown when we're going to be talking more about spooky stuff.
That's right.
Monsters. Maybe it won't
Mayhem.
be quite as Brownies and Daniel Sternish.
Perhaps not, but perhaps it will be.
It might be. Yeah, you never know. But for that to happen, we must travel.
That's right. Back to the netherworld go we. Good night.